All right, so we're gonna do the autobiographical poster. Okay, so 11 by 17, 240 ppi in Photoshop. We're gonna make it vertical. So for the demo, I'm using just an athlete. Lawrence Taylor is one of my favorite athletes, linebacker for the Giants back in the day when I was a kid. So I'm gonna do him, but you'll obviously be replacing all this material with you, but I'll show you the techniques that you need to use to put it all together. So 11 by 17, 240, hit create. You'll have a vertical poster size document canvas to work from, okay? So I gathered my pictures already. You guys should look for a picture of yourself. You should also download pictures of hobbies or interests. That was a question that some students had, is what does that mean, Mike? Uh, you need to have three interests represented. So that's kind of loose. Like if you really like your car, that's an interest of yours. If you really like sushi, that's an interest of yours. It doesn't need to be something that you do, like a sport or a hobby. Maybe sushi is your hobby. I don't know. You like it a lot. So put things that you like in this poster. It should be kind of a visual summary of things that you enjoy, hobbies or not. So firstly, I'm going to open up this first picture of LT. I have a picture of him playing, and then I have a picture of him just kind of on the sidelines. So just opening up this shot of him playing. And just a reminder on how to remove the background. That's the first thing we'll go over. You're going to grab one of the selection tools, fourth tool down, the quick selection tool. You can use this to paint a selection around whoever you'd like to select, or the more automated way is just to click on select subject up here. That's going to give a selection of the subject. It may or may not be as good as this one, but varying degrees of success that tool has. But I always say go to the most automatic way to do something first and then do things manually. I'm going to click on the layer mask button after that. That's going to remove the background. So now I have LT, no background. I can take my move tool, I can bring him to my actual poster, and then I can size it out and figure out how I want it. Okay? So my background right now is white. I can change that. I'm going to actually add a background. After that's in there, I'm going to get rid of the picture. So you do the same with the picture of you. Find the picture of you like, get rid of the background. The background really shouldn't be in it. Remember I spoke about layers? There should be like something all the way in the back, and then something on top of it, and something on top of that, and so on. So all the way in the back of mine, I'm going to put Giant Stadium football field. That seems like an appropriate background for that. So, right, if you're an athlete, let's say you're a bowler, the background could be the bowling alley. If you play tennis, it can be the court, football, the field. If you're not an athlete, maybe you do dance or theater. A stage could be your background. If you're really into cars, then a garage can be your background. Think about like an environment that speaks to you and represents you. So I'm going to put the field there. I'll make it larger to suit my poster. And then because I want this in the background, I'm going to then drag the layer underneath LT so he's on the top. Now the background is kind of busy, a lot of fans and colors, and it's kind of taking away from the picture of Lawrence Taylor and that's in the front. So I'm going to do a couple things. I'm just going to make him smaller firstly because I want to add text and stuff. And then I'm going to take the background layer, the background picture, and I'm going to lower the opacity. So the opacity is in the layers panel. At 100%, it's 100% visible. As you turn down opacity, it affects the transparency. The more I turn down the opacity, the more transparent the picture becomes. So now I can still see my background as Giant Stadium, but by lowering the opacity, it kind of takes away some of the detail. And it really makes the picture in the front stand out more, which is what I want. Okay, next. I'm going to write his name in there somewhere. You have to have text. You have to write your name. So go ahead and write your name. So you're going to grab the text tool. Don't worry about what font or what size yet. And you're just going to click somewhere on the document. and I'm going to type Lawrence. And then when I'm done typing, I'm going to click on the little checkbox up here to tell Photoshop I'm done. Now this is a little large, so I can go to my character panel. If you don't have your character panel open, you can go to Window, Character, and that has all the font options, sizes, attributes, things like that. And I'm going to change this to a more manageable size. And then I'm going to take my text tool again, and I'm going to write in Taylor. And now I can change the font if I want, the size, and all that. And I like that they're independent of each other, just like when you did your logos, because I can move his name, his last name, to an exact spot that I want. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I just hit the return button and wrote his last name. Like maybe I wanted to do something like that. I'm actually going to change the font. I'm not crazy about it. I downloaded this font called Varsity Regular, which kind of has a varsity jacket kind of look to it, that type. So remember, dafont.com, D-A-F-O-N-T, has thousands of fonts that are free to download. You can ask me if you don't know how to download them. But I'm going to go to Lawrence and change that. All right, so I have first and last name on there, and they're in the font that I want. So now I'm going to put some graphics in there. Remember I said you need some graphics? So I did download the logo also. So I'm going to go to File, Open. I'll get the Giants logo. That's a graphic for sure. I found a logo that didn't have the background. So even if you might be a Giants fan, this could be something that you put in yours too. You don't have to play for the Giants to put their logo on your poster. You like them. Okay, so that goes the same with any sports team. All right, unless it's the Cowboys and you can't put that in your poster. I'm sorry. I'm going to make this a little smaller. And remember the order. So this is behind LT right now. So I can decide where I want to put that, okay? And you'll make decisions on how you want this laid out. Now I want to show you the rectangle tool. If you can't see it on your toolbar, you can click on the 3 dots down here and grab rectangle. We did this for the theme project, if you remember. I'm going to fill that with black. And maybe I can fill it with blue for the Giants. I'm just going to do black right now. I'm going to put the rectangle there. Okay. So the rectangle is behind him. Remember, the layer order is really important. If it was up here, if the rectangle was made up here, right, it's above him. But if I put it right here, now it goes behind him. It gives like a cool look. And I was thinking about putting his name right here. So I'm going to change the font color. Just click on Taylor first, go to color over here, click on white, and now it's white. And then I'll do the same with Lawrence. Find that layer, click on the color, click on white. And then I'm going to drag both of those layers, Lawrence and Taylor. I can click on one, hold down Command and click on the other, and they're both selected. And I can take the Move tool and I can drag that down. Now again, layer order. I can't see my fonts or my type because they're below that rectangle. But if I put them above, I can. And then I can do Command T and I can size it in there. Okay, and maybe I want to put 56 in there somewhere or something like that. I could also do that. Now I have the other picture of LT. I'm just going to grab that and go File, Open. And then I have this picture of him just on the sideline. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to remove the background, select Subject. Now it does an okay job. It kind of gets confused right in this area because the white of his jersey and the white of the guy sitting next to him, they kind of blend together. But it's going to be okay. I'm going to hit the Layer Mask button, and then I'm going to drag this over. Okay. And now when I put this into play, I have this layer mask here, and I'm able to paint with my layer mask. Now I can paint back what I'm missing by using white. Some of this area, if I want to bring this back. And then I can paint out with black. So maybe I just want to like have him faded over here. I can lower the opacity like I did before if I wanted to. Maybe make this black and white. Do that, you come down here, you go to black and white. And then I'll right click and I'll create a clipping mask so the black and white only affect that one picture. So then that can happen. Maybe now I'm looking at it, I'll make the Giants logo bigger. Now, text effects. I said that you need to use some text effects. So I'm going to actually, in this corner, put a 56. And then I'll show you how to make some text effects. So 5, 6. That's his number. I'm going to go to the size. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to make it black. All right, so your text effects are on the bottom of the layers panel. It actually says FX at the bottom, right here. My mouse is. If I click that, I have all these options that are text effects. I'm going to go to drop shadow. Okay, drop shadow is going to make kind of a shadow of my type, and I can adjust how far that is, the opacity of it. The spread is just kind of how bold and the size also. So that would be one text effect right there. And then while I'm in here, I can go to all these different ones. This is bevel and emboss. That makes it kind of 3D, kind of gives it some edginess. So you're going to do those text effects, and that's it for that requirement. Okay? So put in 3 different interests need to be represented. You need different graphics. So a graphic would be like the Giants logo is a graphic, or it could be an interest. This black rectangle back here is also a graphic. If I wanted to, I could just take this and make maybe a slim one there to separate it. I can come in here and change the color. And then I can make a thin one here. And that would really be 3 graphics. I just line right here, and then the big rectangle in the back. Okay, and then maybe even on the top if I wanted to cover that. If I wanted to cover up the top there, I could come in with the rectangle tool and do something up here, and maybe even something on the bottom to frame it. There you go. That's just using the rectangle tool. Okay, so remember the layering, right? There's a background, then there's the logo, then there's black and white Lawrence Taylor, and then some text, and then right in the forefront, though, you want to find this picture. Like this is the money maker. This picture in the front, right? That's the center of attention. That's the bold photo of him that really stands out. And then when you look at the rest of the poster, it almost seems like it's all behind him, because it is literally with the layers and everything. So that's it. So that's your autobiographical poster assignment.